What's up, guys? My name's Seth. You're watching Petrol 360, and today we're here doing a huge update on the F100 project. Quick update, but a huge update. Okay, guys, so as you can see, the F100 is in a million pieces. Now, I can explain. So, just to go back a ways, it was Christmas time. My dad, he knows I love this truck. He bought me a magazine. It's F100, I think, Reader's Guide or something like that. It's a biannual magazine just specifically for F-Series trucks, early F-Series trucks. He ended up reading the magazine and it got him really excited. He had just sold one of his project cars, ended up getting a camper for his truck, and he didn't have that fun, just get in and drive cool cars. So his wheels started turning and he randomly calls me up and says, "Hey, I want to buy the blue truck." And I'm like, "No." So we ended up talking back and forth because this is my dad's truck. But we ended up talking and decided, hey, let's go in together because I financially couldn't start on the truck yet. And he couldn't quite, he definitely could have put the truck back on the road, but with me working and him working, it would go so much faster. So this is how the truck sits right now. So as you can see, front end is gone, bed is gone. That looks not factory, so let's dig into it a little bit. A while back, probably 5 months ago, I was cruising Craigslist and I saw a junkyard about an hour away that had a Crown Vic front end. I wanted $500 for it, which was too much, but I ended up talking to the guy and he said, they have the whole car here. They're just trying to sell the parts out from underneath it. So I got him a deal. We've got a Crown Vic front end, we have Crown Vic wheels and tires, we have sway bars front, and we got the rear sway bar as well. All the brakes are still on it. We had them include the brake master cylinder, but we ended up not using that one. We've got another one we're going to go with instead. And we've got the Ford 8.8 rear end. It's a 355 gear with an LSD. This truck is going to be a cruiser, so we went with the lower gear, so it's happy on the highway. So I've had all those parts stored away in my garage for a couple months now, just waiting for a time where I can really start on the truck because I couldn't financially justify starting on it yet and taking up room in my garage and all that. I have the motor, I had the suspension, but there's so many things in between, it just couldn't work out right now. So my dad got excited. We wheeled it over to his shop, as you can see. We're not in my little garage, which is awesome because he has air. He has 220 for a welder and everything over here. He has blasting cabinet and more space, and it's heated, which is super, super nice right now. But we brought it in here and came up with a game plan. So pulled off the front clip first. So we got the front clip off because we knew we were going to go with the Crown Vic front end. And we just needed tons of access and wanted to do some stuff in here. So we went ahead and decided, or I decided, everything underneath the engine, underneath the hood, I should say, is going to be all brand spanking new. So as you can see, our inner fenders were super rusted, had lots of extra holes in them. We even have, this is a road sign of some kind that somebody had at some point had stuck and welded in here because your battery sits up here and acid had been dripping down onto it and ate it. So they replaced it, but it looked horrible. So I'm going through, doing a little bit of body work, welding and patching holes and things like that. And we are going to paint all the fenders. We're also going to do the firewall, and we're going to paint the frame rails, probably clean up some of the Crown Vic stuff, and we're going to stick with the stock color. So we're going to do a single stage on all those parts, and I was thinking about putting a bed liner material on the inside of the inner fenders. So we're not going to paint the entire truck. We're just going to do under the hood. So if we ever decide later down the road that we want to fix up the truck and make it all nice again, everything underneath the hood is already done, so we won't have to pull the motor again and get it down to a bare, frame rails and things like that. So that kind of starts off with the front end. If you watch another YouTube channel, the Craig 909, he is a big F100 guy. He is doing the same Crown Vic swap, I think in his 71 F100 bump side. And he recommended this company. It's Backyard Customs. They make this welding kit to box in your frame as well as mount the Crown Vic front end. So it's got your rear control arm mount, as well as this boxing plate and everything for the front end. It was probably the cheapest price and the best overall product that I've seen. And he was super nice to talk to. And it was really simple putting these in. A lot of welding, but you know, you're gonna have that no matter what. So super happy with that. Cut these out and started welding them in. Some fit up really well. We did mount the front clip on, make sure our wheel wells are centered and everything there, because your measurements forward and backwards can kind of be a pain. You can read online all you want, but until you actually get it mocked up, you know, you're not 100% sure. So we know where it's gonna sit. We've got photos of that. So we're good to go as far as the front end is. So we're gonna talk to the back end, but first we'll start here. We went ahead and got new leaf springs. The old ones were super duper worn out. They were not very stiff. We're gonna do this as kind of like a retro mod truck. So kind of pro touring-esque, not 100%, but we want it to handle pretty good. And the original springs, just the spring rate was absolutely horrible. So found online, later model trucks use the same leaf spring, but one company had them, and they had them in 3 different versions: 950 pound, 1250 pound, and like a 650 pound or something like that. And the only difference between all of them was how many leaves they had in them. So this is a 4-leaf pack, that's a 5-leaf pack, same price. But we went ahead and went with the other one, a little bit heavier, because if it's the same price, we can always remove a leaf if it turns out to be too stiff. So we've got that. And as you can see by our axle mounts, we're gonna do an axle flip. So walk back here. Our rear frame rails, everything is actually pretty good. The bed is really toast on this truck, unfortunately. It's got diamond plate under it, that somebody put a whole sheet of diamond plate to replace the floor, but the original floor is still hanging on there, rusted away. But you know, it's good for right now. If we do ever paint the entire truck, we'll probably just go ahead and find a clean bed. But in order to do the axle flip, we're gonna have to C-notch the frame. So I've got the C-notches sitting over there, and most of y'all know C-notch come up into the frame so the axle can move up higher. So that's our next course of action, is cutting out here. I bought a universal kit because everything for a 64 F100 is a kit to do the axle flip with the original 9-inch, and it comes with other stuff that we don't have to worry about. So a universal kit was half the cost. It was thicker metal. I'm glad I did it. We're also gonna get some more metal so we can box in this side, just where the C-notch is gonna be. We're not boxing in the entire frame because we really don't see a need to. We went ahead and busted out the shock mounts because we're not 100% sure how we're gonna mount the shocks on this. That's one of those things where once we get the axle hung and get the C-notch in, we'll see where stuff kind of lines up. So, and as far as the interior of the truck, we're gonna try and keep it as original as it is or was. One of the biggest things is the steering column. 1964, the steering column is a part of the steering box, which really sucks. You can't really connect it to the new steering rack easily. So we're having to do this weekend, I think I'm gonna go pull a steering column out of a 1971 truck, so that it actually has an end on it with a spline, so then we can come down to the steering rack spline and connect the two. So just one of the things we're running into. There's lots of little issues anytime you're doing anything like this, but honestly, we're moving along really well. It's probably been a month and a half maybe, where we already got the front end set, ready to go, and digging into the rear end, and we've got most of the parts needed. So we're doing pretty good. So I know this is an absolutely huge update. There has been a ton of work going on. I don't think I'm gonna film the process. Probably just do update videos like this showing you what's going on. It's me and my dad working together, so there's some nights where I'm working alone or he's in here working alone, but trying to stick, this is just a father-son project, and it's a lot of fun getting to hang out here. My grandpa, he lives right next door to us here, and he comes over and watches us work and hangs out with us, and it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited about the project. Other stuff you don't see here, the rear axle I still have at my house. We're gonna bring that over really soon because we're ready for it. The motor is also at my house. We do have a little pile of parts over here. We went with the dual plane intake manifold just for ease of drivability, and you know, they usually produce a little bit more horsepower all the way through the rev range except for the top end. And this isn't going to be a screaming motor. We're not going to rebuild it, like I said. We do have a comp cam. I don't know the specs off of it, but it's just a simple street cam, a little bit of lope in it, nothing crazy. You know, not looking for tons of power. We just needed to replace the stock cam and that other one and the lifters. So went ahead with that, and that's sitting in a box, and we're going to be replacing that. Rear main seal, oil pump, water pump, all of the gaskets all throughout. We're taking our oil pan and we're going to powder coat the bottom of it. I think we're going to powder coat the intake manifold as well. Really just so it's clean and we can clean it easier, because aluminum stains really easy, and if you get grease or oil or anything like that, it's just a mess. So just to make it look nice overall. But yeah, I've got tons of parts for that. We have parts piling up, so things should be moving along pretty well. Once we get the rear end mounted, we can look at shocks. We got to run new brake lines, and my dad wants to put the gas tank underneath the bed. I'm against it. I don't see any issue with having the tank inside of the cab. If you're going to get a hole in the tank inside the cab, getting in a wreck, you're already screwed anyway, so what does it matter? But he wants to do it, and so we're looking into doing that as well, using the Mustang gas tank. So yeah, guys, thank y'all for checking out the video. Thank you for checking out the project. I know I've been slacking on the bike videos coming out. The bike is finished. It's ready. The 2 next videos are already up on YouTube, but I've just been I've forgotten, honestly, to hit the public button on them, so they'll go up. I like to upload videos on Fridays. I don't know why, it's just my thing, I guess. So those videos are coming soon. We're going to see more of this. I have another project vehicle that I've owned for probably 4 or 5 months, probably 3 months now, I guess, and it is freaking awesome, and there's a couple things going on with that. And it's being featured in a magazine, and we're working with a couple companies with that vehicle. It might be a truck, it might be Ford, I don't know. But that one's gonna be coming up. If you wanna see that one, check out my Instagram page. I've been posting a ton of pictures of that one. I haven't shown it here yet because I've been waiting to shoot the video for it. But thank you guys for watching. If you like this truck project, make sure to hit a thumbs up and subscribe, because you'll see a lot more of this, and a lot more of some other stuff. So thanks, guys.